Fort Worth, this is Steve Rosenberg with Empire Industries Property Management and Realty Services. Today what I want to talk to you about is how to pick the right tenant. One of the things I've learned, and I have made a lot of mistakes in the landlording business personally when I first started, is one of the biggest mistakes I made was not picking the right tenant. A lot of your problems start and a lot of your problems go away depending on what tenant you pick. You pick the right tenant, a lot of good things happen. You pick the wrong tenant, a lot of bad things can happen, and not just monetary bad things. You can have a lot of stress, you can have a lot of headaches. The fact of someone living in your property that maybe is trashing your property while you're living there because you made the wrong decision not only hurts you financially, but sometimes it hurts you mentally because you know that maybe you didn't follow the procedure you should have, and you kind of maybe caused that if you picked them yourself or if you picked a realtor that did not do the right job. One of the things I've learned personally as being an airline pilot is that when you're flying an airplane, you have to rely on your instruments, especially when you're in the clouds. So when you're relying on your instruments, you can't rely on what your body is telling you. You can't rely on what your gut is telling you. Same holds true when it comes to finding a tenant. You have to go on your instruments. Your instruments are your qualifications, your gut of how you think this person is and should you or shouldn't you because they seem to have a commonality with you. That is not the way to pick a tenant. This basically is a business relationship that you are entering with this tenant. You want to make sure that you are getting into the right business relationship with someone who is qualified. You want to make sure that your qualifications are such that they not only can afford to pay the rent, but will pay the rent. And you want them to pay it for a long time. You want someone in there for 5-10 years. You don't want someone in there for 9 months or 1 year. That doesn't do you any good because every time you have to turn that property over, that's costing you downtime, it's costing you vacancy, it's costing you maintenance costs, and the mental stress of just dealing with it. So like I said, one of the things I've learned is have qualifications. We have a 20-point screening process here at Empire, and we have learned the more strict we are with the tenant, yes, the property may stay vacant a little longer, but if you market correctly, you can actually get it leased quicker. So we are able to do mass marketing. And then when they come in, we're able to be very strict on who we screen. So it's got to be a 1-2 combination. You got to be able to mass market your property. You also got to be strict because just putting the first person in that gets the property, you're really not doing any favors because if that person stops paying, you could have a vacant property and not even know it. And it could be vacant for 6 months. They could be trashing the property. Now you're dealing with the mental frustration. You're dealing with the headache. You're dealing with all the things that happen with that. And it's just not a good feeling. So one of the things I would advise is make sure you have strict qualifications and disclose those to the tenant. Let them know before you even start with them, this is what I expect of your qualifications. Maybe it's 3 times the income. Maybe it's no felonies, no evictions. Maybe you don't want to see a lot of history of job hopping around. Maybe you want to see W-2s. There's things that you may want to see. We have a 1% eviction rate because we are so strict. If you want to use ours, you're more than welcome to give us a call. We can share our eviction or our qualifications with you of what we use. And again, we can help you if you're looking to buy a house, if you're looking to sell a house, if you're looking just to lease a house, or obviously if you want us to do all the above and manage it, we can do any variation of those. We're here to be a partner and we're here to service you, but we're also here to educate you. And part of that is picking the right tenant. I cannot tell you and stress enough how much easier your life will be if you pick the right tenant. And again, sometimes it's a matter of having that conversation with the tenant and discussing with them what you're going to expect of them as a tenant. When you rent from this property, this is what I expect of you. I expect you to keep the property clean. I expect you to take care of things when they break. I expect you to call me if it's a major issue so that I can resolve it. I expect you to pay your rent on time. If you don't, there will be late fees. Then there will be evictions. Then there will be debt collectors. I think that the more you get out in the open, you're not scaring them away if they're a good tenant. If you pay your rent and do what you're supposed to do, we're not going to have a problem. If you don't pay your rent, then I'm probably not the people to rent to. Now, what are you doing? You're probably foregoing about 4 to 6 months of frustration and headache dealing with someone as opposed to the next person that may walk through the door that may pay their rent on time and never have a problem. So again, don't get short-sighted and just put someone in the property because you're getting nervous. That's the worst thing you could do. Always have qualifications, have them written down, disclose them to them as early on as possible so that they know what they're getting into and you know what you're getting into. Also, look at their past. If you see their past, you'll see their future. If you see someone who's hopped around from job to job and apartment to apartment or house to house, and maybe they owe a lot of people money, that may not be a good partner for you. Their past is giving you a story. Whether you choose to do anything and listen to it is another problem. So if you'd like to talk to us at Empire, we'd be happy to talk to you. We'd be happy to look at maybe your portfolio, look at your properties, how we can help you, whether you're looking to buy a new property or you just want us to help you lease it, or you want the management and all the above. We do all the above. We can help you. That's our goal here in the Fort Worth area. We want you to be successful in being an investor, and that all starts with finding the right tenant. So give us a call here in the Fort Worth area. We'd be happy to sit down and talk with you personally, one-on-one, see how we can best achieve your goals. This is Steve Rosenberg with Empire Property Management. Bye-bye.